And welcome back, everyone, to the Angry Chicken. This is the Patron Hangout for technically August, but it's happening on September 1st. So welcome back, guys. I feel like we just did this. I'm Garrett. He's Dills. She's Jocelyn. Guys, you just heard us yesterday. You know what this is. You get it.
Well, yeah, but that was for like everybody and new people, and a lot of people were uh, angry that we weren't super hard on Ben Brode on our 100th episode celebration.
You know what I took away from Reddit comments today?
Huh?
Apparently, we need to treat guests from Team 5 like they're the biggest piles of shit on the planet. That they are here
that's
to be
how you
yelled
get
at.
shit done, Garrett.
That they are here to be berated. That they are only here to listen to my incredibly specific cherry-picked complaints about the game that only affect me.
Well, the thing is, and to be fair, and someone had tweeted me about this, and I was like, a lot of people had no idea who we were before that episode. So to them, this is their first episode. This is Angry Chicken 1. So they don't realize that we've done 99 episodes, but like even if we're saying it many times, that's fine. But to them, it's still episode 1, and what to them it is us interviewing Ben Brode about the game. So they're like, why are they being like so softbally? So I get it, but that's why I explained it in a lot of my responses. I was like, just so you guys know, we were more just kind of celebrating our show and the game and hanging out.
Just so you guys know, a downvoted to -9 Reddit commenter, things happen when you're not aware of them.
Yeah.
That sounds
but
made up.
yeah. But that's like, I forgave those people because I was like, yeah, if you don't know what it is, like, why should I expect them to know what it is? It's fine.
Some of them,
like, that guy doesn't really matter in the long run.
Yeah, some of them though, like some of the responses were just like people getting so incredibly heated about Hearthstone. Like they're so angry. They're like losing their minds over issues with the game, like it's some type of weird political thing. Like we're not bringing Ben Brode on because he's running for president. Like,
oh yeah. No, yeah. There was a guy who literally said his comment was like, how can he have 2 hours to hang out on a talk show when there's all these bugs in the game? It's
that's
like,
the most narrow-minded and entitled thing I've ever heard. Like, how does Ben Brode go home after his day of work is over and eat dinner and take care of his child and be a loving husband when
there's bugs?
When I can't get my Hergerber in the Burger Burr?
Well, and the bug that one guy brought up, like, this game-breaking Nosdormu bug, which is like not breaking any game.
Breaking
the game.
No
one's playing Nosdormu in the first place. So yeah, there's a bug, but this isn't destroying everyone's Hearthstone experience. I thought that was pretty funny.
Oh,
but I decided I was going to take the route of just like, I'm just going to assume you have no idea why we wouldn't grill him on more deck slots and whatever. You know what I mean? It's like, it's fine.
I also that one just makes me laugh. It's like you get one of the top guys from the game that you clearly give many shits about, and you actually have a chance to talk to him, and what you want to ask him is deck slots because he's never been asked that before.
Well, that was the other point that I made was if we're gonna give him a hardball question, we should probably talk about stuff that isn't just all been like completely rehashed 15 million times on every single time you hear a conversation. It's RNG, it's deck slots, it's all this stuff. We don't need to go over. It's Patron. We don't need to go over that again, Right. And we still brought some of that stuff.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we did cover a couple of those things.
Yeah, well, that's I mean that's the podcast equivalent of commenting on an article you didn't read. I mean.
Yeah.
It's like, I didn't listen to it, but they should have talked about.
I'm curious to know, is there anything that, like, if it wasn't our 100th episode, like, Jocelyn, what would you have been like, if I was going to grill Ben Brode, what would have been your gripe? Let's gripe. Because now, like, we're on 101. It's brand new episodes. Like,
I mean, I kind of got my question in there because what I really wanted to know about is basically like why didn't all the good dragon cards get released when dragons
like all at once?
Yeah,
so
like
dragons were a thing?
exactly. Yeah, so dragons were a thing. Yeah, because it seemed like that's what they had been doing. I guess Mex was a little different. Yeah, Mex was a little different. We kind of got most of the powerful Mex all in one shot with GVG, but for whatever reason, like dragons just really ticked me off because I like dragons.
Well, to be fair, though, we had dragons before that, and then we had a small set of cards to release the dragons.
Yeah.
It wasn't like a 200 card expansion. It was
no, that's true.
30 cards. So
yeah. But there was
yeah,
some,
it's a good point.
Yeah. So that was kind of my question is like, we had all the dragon hype months ago. Like, why didn't you put more? Because there's some really good dragons that came out with this expansion. So.
I felt like Ben was remarkably candid about that, though. I mean, he said,
he was. That's what I say. Like, that was kind of my gripe, my question. Like, why aren't the themes coming out?
No, and I'm not coming down on you. I'm like, I feel like we got some really good questions out of him, and people were still angry about certain things because it's just like, well, listen, we're not going to get answers to all of these, and some of the answers he did give were remarkable. The arena information he was giving us, no one had heard that before.
I know, everyone just went completely crazy.
Yeah, that was brand new. That was brand spanking new. I had no idea, and Dwakta, who's doing that new arena, and they're very arena focused, was like, yeah, we got to now go crunch a bunch of numbers because this is going to change like my tier list essentially.
Yeah.
Because if you have a higher percentage of the time to get TGT cards, then those might actually be higher up on the list based on the fact that they have synergies with each other more often.
Yeah. Or
lower because you won't. I don't know. It's like there's certain cards you'll get less often. It changes the whole thing, and we don't know what the percentages of those are. How often are we getting TGT compared to the other cards? Like that kind of blew my mind, but we didn't like derail the whole conversation to talk about it. But I thought that was kind of a cool little nugget that nobody knew at that point.
No, it was great. No one. So I don't know. Some of the feedback that I just thought was hilarious. I'm just like,
but you know what though? There was like 90% positive.
Maybe
even like 95%.
Yeah, I know. It's just the people out there who are just like they clearly don't care. You can tell by what he's saying that it's all about the money, and I'm just like, really? What were you listening to? Like, you clearly cannot be. This is the type of person that cannot be reasoned with, no matter what they hear and what facts they are given.
But when I think about that, I just have to remember, like, yeah, but everything kind of sucks for that guy, and so do I want to like be worried about what that guy think? The guy that like everything in the world kind of sucks, or do I want to like concern myself with all the people who are having a great time because we like Hearthstone and we're. It's like, no, I want to live in that world. I don't want to live in the world where I'm mad about everything all the time.
Yeah, I think I'm jaded at times, and then I see stuff like that. I'm like, no, this guy has lost the fun. Here is something we are literally talking about a card game, people. This is something like, why are you involved in it if it makes you this angry?
Yeah, and we're critical of this game.
Well, but not to the point.
That's the hardest stuff I've had to deal with is like when people are mad at me for being critical, right? And I get why, because it is frustrating. We love the game.
We get it on both sides, though. People tell us we're in Blizzard's back pocket, and other people say that all we do is wish other things were in the game.
That's the name of the game, though. When you make an opinion, you put it on the internet. That's how it works. So,
That means you're doing it right?
I guess. It just means you're doing something. It's almost, at this point, you could just, you could throw almost anything on the fact that so many people are concerned, I think is a great thing. And the truth of last night's show was that it was definitely the most epic show we've ever done. It was amazing. At the end, I was like blown away and incredibly happy and elated about how it all went down. And a lot of people who didn't know about our show or give a crap before now do know about it, and it's on their radar. So if a few guys are salty, fine. Everything else about it was just really good. So I'm stoked on the whole thing.
All the messages coming in like yesterday, today, even like everyone retweeting the episode and posting it in all the places. It's so overwhelming. And I know like at the end of last night's show, like I could barely even string a sentence together. Like so many emotions. Like I was just completely and utterly overwhelmed. And I felt like there were so many things he wanted to say, wanted to talk about, wanted to do. And it was just like, oh, it's over. Well, that was a blur. But
it really didn't feel like 2 hours, did it?
No, it didn't. Not at all.
No, it's sped by. But
I don't think I fell asleep until like 5:30 in the morning. I just couldn't sleep.
My brain was on just rapid fire. And luckily, I had a little bit more time to decompress. Like I had to put the show up afterwards, but even still, when I laid down, I was just like, "Man, what just? It was amazing. It was absolutely amazing. Yeah, definitely major highlight for me for all the years I've done podcasts. Like the last night was just incredible.
So did you, Garrett? Quick question. I saw Jury was talking about your Secrets Paladin deck. Have you altered the deck and come up with some new tech that I don't know about?
What? No, not at all. I think Jury's just
because he was like, if you could beat Garrett's deck, and I'm like, oh, what did Garrett do? I want to know.
No. I think he probably just heard that we were talking about it and me mentioning that I play it, and he probably had lost 2 secret decks. All right. I took that as Jury's way of crap talking Secret Paladin.
Sure. Well, yeah, it's. I'll say this though. Do we have calls yet? Should we get into something?
We have so many calls. I was giving us some time to naturally get out of our intro.
Because there was a topic also today on the Hearthstone Reddit about how OP this card is. But after it's kind of settled down of a few days of everyone playing this deck, I am now not feeling like this deck is as overpowered as I thought it was. Like, I feel like now everyone just kind of understands just a little bit more about how to play against it. And the fact is you have 2 cards that are overpowered out of 30, and then you have 8 cards that are crap. And if you don't draw those 2 cards and you draw all the 8 cards, then it sucks. So
I will say I won my last 2 games as Secret Paladin without my Mysterious Challenger. So
it definitely has more than one win condition. But
right.
But the truth of the matter is, like, I'm not concerned with this deck.
Yeah,
some people seem to be very concerned.
And like the shaman, the game I just played, I was showing the deck to Katie, the shaman I won against. If he had his second Lightning Storm, there was no way I was winning that game. He just didn't draw a second Lightning Storm.
Yeah, there's answers. Earth Shock would kill a lot of things in that deck too.
Yep.
It's,
Yeah. I was it was going so slow because he kept rolling spell power totems, and I was like, I don't want a spell-powered Earthshock killing my shielded mini-bots. So it was a slower game because I was playing cautious. And if he had just pulled that second Lightning Storm, it would have been done. But
you have to have something on board for that deck to work.
Yeah.
You know?
And I feel like it's a whole lot like Dragon Warrior, because I know, like, literally the first day the expansion came out, and then probably for like 2 or 3 days, it was so powerful. And then it just kind of like fell off. It's because everybody started like teching against it, learning how to play against it. And I feel like Paladin is the same way, that, everyone now knows how to play against that Paladin deck. So, you're coming up against people. I'm still winning probably, 75 to 80% of the games. But I mean, there's some people that I come up against that have clearly built decks, especially hunters, specifically to counter that, because they have flare. I've seen people with 2 flares and 2 mystics, and I'm just like, whoa, dude, that's overdoing it.
I have 1 flare in my hunter deck, because
that's enough, I think.
Yeah, because
no, it's plenty. This guy was like way just like, you shall have no secrets.
Yeah, in that matchup, I mean, if you deny 1 Mysterious Challenger, you're probably going to win.
Yeah,
that's really all it boils down to. So.
It wasn't even that. He flared off the secret I played turn 1. Like, he was just like, nope.
That's overkill. That's a bad play, I think.
Well,
unless he had 2 Kazan Mystics and 2 flares in his opening hand.
That's what I'm saying. Like, he had 2 flares in his opening hand and 1 Mystic, and he was just like, nope.
Well, then never mind.
Nope.
Yeah. I mean, if that's the case, but
overreaction.
Yeah, absolutely.
Exactly.
That is not going to be a consistent deck. I'm sorry, buddy.
Yeah.
That ain't gonna work. Anyway, we've got calls coming in. Patrons, keep calling in. There's a post. It's the 3rd most recent post over on patreon.com/TAC. It has the information for the Skype account. Make sure you add the Skype account before you call. And here is our first caller. The Pi symbol.
Hey, what is up?
Hey, how you doing?
Hello.
Let me see. I need to enable video for this call.
No, you're good.
There we go.
We can see you.
All right, great.
Looking great, Pi. How you doing today?
I'm doing good. How are you guys?
We're doing good. I think we're all 3 of us a little tired, a little on cloud 9 also, because our 100th episode was totally dope. But yeah, having a good day.
Well, cheers to that.
Hey, all right, I'm in.
I got my Sazerac, so I came prepared.
Nice.
I need to text Katie, see if I can get an adult beverage now.
Oh, that's important. Don't forget it this time, though.
Yeah, Patron episode. We're supposed to all be drinking a cocktail of some sort, right? What's going on, Jocelyn?
I don't have any cocktails.
What? It was like
I had a shot of whiskey sitting here the whole entire night last night, because I'm like, at some point someone is gonna like cheers us to 100 or something, and I'm gonna be ready. And then I was like, we finished the show, and I was like, oh. Well, I guess I'll just drink this by myself.
I wasn't expecting Ben to be drinking on the job. I wasn't expecting Frodan to be drinking alone in his hotel room, so I didn't come prepared either. So, anyways.
I'm disappointed in you guys.
So, anyways, how are you doing? Do you have a question for us?
Well, yeah, I have a couple questions, but I'm kind of curious. Do you guys want a question like, oh, you guys are awesome podcasters who've been doing this for 100 episodes, so I'm going to ask you a question, or do you want to talk about something that I know that Garrett's super excited about?
Well, that's hard because I mean I love being catered to in questions, but I also love being flattered, and it sounds like it's a win-win for me. So I'm gonna put it to Dills and Jocelyn to decide.
I mean, this is your call, man. You ask us what you want to ask us.
Whatever you want to know.
We're here for you guys.
All right. So, well, I can wait on this other question until like next month or whatever. So here's the question: after 100 episodes, what is like the most embarrassing thing that you said on an episode of Angry Chicken when you look back on it? Like what keeps you up at night?
Oh, jeez.
At this point, I don't think anything could. Yeah, there you go. At this point, I don't think anything could keep me up at night. But I mean, after podcasting for as long as I have been, I've said some pretty embarrassing things. But I think really it's like the moments when you, like, for me, I guess it's the moments when I crap on something and maybe it sounds like I went overboard because I wasn't realizing like how I was saying it. So like the stuff with the brawl, I still am not like a huge brawl fan, and I'm not like someone who's gonna ever play it longer than a few games. But I've come around on it quite a bit from day one, and in retrospect, I wish I hadn't let the disappointment of no tournament mode affect my my verbalizing of my discontent. I should have been a little softer. That's all. That's it for me. Nothing embarrassing.
That's fair.
Mine's in line with Dill's. Probably when I crapped all over the ranked mode. I feel kind of bad. I feel like I was grossly simplistic in my complaints.
Okay. Well, we had a whole at that point. We had not had this whole like text conversation with Yang Wu that we had, ended up having afterwards. Which, it's when you actually get a chance, and this is why I think Team 5 is awesome. So when you get a chance to hear like their reasoning behind things, that it takes you a little inside the mind, and you can't really see that from outside.
So Garrett, what exactly was it that you felt like you oversimplified?
Well, we were coming up to TGT, so all of the episodes were packed, and we just didn't have time to spend on some issues. And I think just before that, there was another topic that had taken up a bunch of time. But it just, for whatever reason, it had led into this conversation about ranked play. And so all I really had time to say was, I don't like it. I think it's crap. Like, and it's just, and I'm just like, and like,
yeah, maybe that was a bit
the next day. I was just like, man, I don't feel good about that because it's not right. Like, clearly, obviously, they put work into it. Like, it's not like it's like, this is what it's gonna be. I don't give a crap, and they farted it out the door. That's not what happened. So I don't know. I feel like I didn't give it the credit that it deserves. And that could be a whole episode just discussing what ranked is, what improvements could be made, or maybe how it could be completely overhauled. And it's a huge discussion that my 3-second comments just did not do justice.
Yeah,
I feel like Joss is going to have an interesting answer to this question, since we kind of got to see her, start as like a sort of novice Hearthstone player and sort of grow. So we've seen things like her being a huge fan of Eye for an Eye. So what are your most embarrassing moments?
See, that's the thing. Like, I'm not necessarily embarrassed about like my performance in the first, even 50 episodes of the show when I was super, super casual, because I mean, that was my role in the show. That's who I was. That's how I played the game. So even though I made poor decisions or thought cards were good based strictly on how they made me feel as a player, because I mean, I loved Eye for an Eye because it just made me feel good. It was like, oh, you're going to hit my face? Well, I'm going to hit your face. And that made me feel good as a player. So, I mean, whether it's actually competitively good or not didn't factor into my card choices. So I don't feel embarrassed about anything that I said early on, whether I was right or wrong. And let's face it, most of the time I was wrong because I was just having fun. For me, it just like, honestly, it's usually stuff that has to do with things that Garrett then puts on the soundboard. Sometimes it's just things that come out of my mouth. I'm like, how did that, where did that even come from? Especially now that it's been immortalized on Twitter by the Joss bot. It's just, especially the very first one, the "so hot" comment. It's just that follows me everywhere. Even hype is not as bad as "so hot." It's literally everywhere. And then the context of like what that comment was just, I mean, it's about another player. It's Valley Girl. It's just everything that could be wrong and embarrassing about that is wrong and embarrassing.
If it makes you feel better, Jocelyn, I say some really weird stuff on Into the Nexus after show games that I guess no one just realizes, and no one sends me clips. And I'm also not going to play incriminating things about myself. But,
yeah, well, that's true. Maybe what I need is a soundboard on my end so that I can do like Garrett drops.
There you go.
Yeah, I need to get back at you for those.
All right, what email do we send those to?
Not Tech Podcast.
You send it to
intercepted.
You send it to Tech Podcast.
No.
Send it to Joss Plays. That's JOSS Plays.
Are you helping?
Thanks, Dills. Got my
Joss
back.
Whedon's gonna be going through his inbox. Like, what the hell is this?
Like, damn it!
I should have never gotten on Twitch. I should have just kept making movies.
Who's this Garrett guy? Oh,
that's a really interesting question, though. It's funny because we do these shows, we talk into these microphones, and then we turn it off, and we don't go back and listen necessarily. It's like I know that there was a point in my career of podcasting where I would listen back to kind of like judge performance and stuff like that. But that day is long past, so I don't.
There's too
like
much
at this
content
point.
Now.
It's live to hard drive, and then it's out there into the world, and things get said. I don't even remember them, and then someone's coming back to me and telling me stuff later, and I don't even think about it at the time, like how this is actually coming off. So it's interesting to kind of look back and reflect on some of that stuff. But I think you have to do this kind of stuff to present yourself in this kind of way and to be opinionated and stuff. You have to kind of just realize that's going to happen, and you can't worry about it, right? Or else you're just like self-censoring before you even say anything. And then you just say nothing of substance, and then you're boring. So we need to have those embarrassing moments, I think. And we need to go a little too far sometimes.
I would also say you should make sure you have enough time to talk about whatever it is you're about to rant about. Because otherwise you feel bad about it afterwards. So
yeah, good point.
Time management is very important. So, but thanks, Pi. We got a lot of other
great question, man.
A lot of other callers coming in, but thanks. I'm so that was the been a podcaster for a long time. So I guess next time we'll have to look forward to whatever it is that you think would make me super excited.
Yeah, of course. And I also like to thank you guys because just this last month I was able to make it to Legend. So
nice,
congratulations!
Listening to this podcast always kind of fills me with that energy that I need to hop on the ladder and play some games. So
push through the grind. That's awesome, dude. Congrats. What deck did you play, if you don't mind?
Can I just not say?
I mean, Space Hunter.
That's okay too. I don't, whatever. But I just curious. That's all.
Yeah, if you're getting a Legend, you're getting a Legend. You got to do what you got to do.
I don't. Yeah, I no judgment here. It's a safe place.
I'm playing Secret Paladin right now, man. I'm not gonna judge you.
Yeah, it was a combination of aggro paladin and mid-range hunter that got me there. I've been playing like hunter. Yeah, hunter's like been my favorite class since I started the game, so I felt like that was the one that would take me to Legend if any of them would.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just been a consistently strong deck. It's just been kind of slightly below the strongest deck, but never like a deck that just doesn't have any terrible matchups. So if you're gonna grind out a lot of games, I think that's a fantastic choice.
Yep, I've come completely around on Hunter. I've spent last season playing mid-range Hunter almost exclusively up until the very end, where I'm like, fine, I'm gonna try this Paladin thing, this aggro pally, which I ended up loving. I was talking to Dills about it. I'm like, dude, it's like a red-white deck in Magic. I haven't had this feeling in Hearthstone yet. I like it.
What I like about it is that with Face Hunter, one of the things a lot of people didn't like was that you essentially had no choices ever, and you just went throw my stuff on the ground and just hit face and hope that in the end I have enough damage before you can kill me or put a stop to this train. With the aggro paladin, even like the pure aggro paladin, it's like I'm almost always going face. There are still a ton of decisions where I need to like just trade to protect these other important minions, or I need to allow myself to have like the something to buff on the next turn, so I can't let you like wipe my board. And like there's a lot more decisions to be made. So I don't think it's like on nearly the same level as the Face Hunter. Yeah,
at its core, I mean, aggro paladin is really a tempo deck, so you have to have board control to win the game. So
yeah, it has a lot of tools that could be very frustrating for a mid range or a control player, but it's a thinking man's aggro deck, I think, for sure.
I agree.
So yeah, no shame in your game, dude.
Nope.
Congrats again,
Congratulations on the legend, man.
Thanks for calling in.
Yep. See you next month.
Have a good one. Okay. So many people that have been calling since we started. Next caller with an amazing avatar. Oh man, I was hoping for that photo backdrop in your two dogs. What's going on?
Hey, I was unprepared for you to actually take my call. Oh no, video's off.
That's all right. We got your mall photo with two beautiful puppies. It looks like there. Not puppies though. They look like full-grown dogs.
Yeah. So Kirby is your name?
Yes, Kirby's my name. Let me turn off. Okay, now I'm fully on you. Sorry.
Oh, awesome.
I wasn't expecting to take my call. This is the first time I've called in. Now I'm prepared.
Welcome.
Hey, yeah. So first off, I just wanted to say thanks. I just listened to your 100th episode. It was awesome. I've been listening for a little while, and I just got back from a trip. I didn't realize how much I liked the show until I found myself like going back through all the shows that I missed and just like splurged on all of them. Just like I need all of the angry chickens, so I started with the Patreon. And
dude, that's awesome.
Yeah, I'm really excited that you guys took my call. So thanks.
No, thank you for calling.
Yeah. So I guess I play Hearthstone just a little bit. I get to my rank 20 every month and play a little bit of Arena when I can. What would you say? Like I try and use different tier lists or different kind of things to guide me through. What do you guys say to beginners trying to get a good feel of Arena, especially when new content comes out? Like I listened to your reviews, but like you didn't go through all the commons, for instance. I don't blame you for it. Yeah. But so where would you suggest someone like me start who just plays a little bit?
I tell them to bother Dills as much as they can on Twitter.
I was going to say, this is such a Dills question, because, I mean, I did one right after TGT came out, like drafted an Arena deck. I did another one today. I'm terrible. I'm so bad at Arena. Can't do it.
Well, Arena is a completely different beast because it's just a slower game, so value cards are going to be much higher on the list, but I would definitely recommend check out heartharena.com. You basically sign up on there, and we've mentioned it on the show before, but you sign up there and you put in your 3 picks, and it tells you which one it thinks is the best. And it's not just that it's like a lot of people are like, oh, that's like cheating, but it's not really cheating because it actually tells you why it thinks that this one is the best of the 3 picks. So over time, the idea I think is, if you don't really know, you can't just figure it out by just banging your head against like a million mages until you finally go, oh, these are good cards. Like it's better to just have a guide, understand why, and then once you start seeing some results, then it makes sense why this card is a good card in Arena, So I would definitely recommend doing that. And then I think after that, it's just about, really thinking about the Arena games you won or lost and where you think you went right or wrong. You can't learn all of it from the tier lists, right? So you actually have to play some games and really analyze the performance. When you got above average wins for you, think about what made that deck really good. Because for me, like my average is like somewhere around 6.5 wins a run, right? So if I get a 12 win, I look at that deck and I go, why was this deck so good? How was this a 12-win deck? Usually it's because I had like 4 true silver champions. But sometimes it's because I just had really good minions that I played on curve every single time. And like enough 1-drops, 2-drops, 3-drops that I always curved out really well. So it's like you kind of have to like see why it's good or bad every time. Sometimes I get an Arena deck and I'm like, this is the worst deck ever. And then I go 7 wins with it. I'm like, well, okay, why didn't I think this was good? And how come it actually was? And then I learned something. So it's just a combination of all those things, man. But I'm glad that you asked this question because we never talk about Arena.
Yeah, I came from a limited Magic background, and I know you guys play a little bit of Magic too, but I definitely enjoy the portability of this game. I can pick it up, play one game at a time by 3 hours online. But it's funny. I'm glad you said that's the way to go because I was literally just doing that as I was waiting for this call to come, and I was using Hearth Arena. Nice. And it's nice because like I don't necessarily always blindly pick what it says. I like that you said gives the explanation. But yeah.
I disagree with it sometimes, but the guys who came up with the algorithm are incredibly smart guys. They have really high win rates. I would say also check out, there's not as many as there was when the game, because, when the game first started, in beta and all that stuff, the top streamers were actually playing Arena. And that's, I think, mostly because not everyone had all the cards yet, and people were just kind of figuring the game out. So, like, Trump was always playing Arena, Hafu was always at the top. Nowadays, you still have some really top Arena players, but it's Hafu still, but she doesn't stream as much. Ratsma, I would also check out. Adwakta is really good. Adwakta and Merps, they do Sunday co-op. Watch those streamers who just do Arena. Kriparian, obviously. And check them out, man. Learn from them, because they know their stuff. And they don't explain everything anymore. Streams are a little less educational than they used to be, but you still kind of get a sense from watching it and being like, oh, would I have done that? And then you got to kind of educate yourself a little more. They don't talk through it as much, but there's still a lot out there, a lot of good information. So that's awesome, dude.
Well, thanks again for taking my call. Congratulations on the 100th episode.
Thanks.
I'll be sticking around and watching to the end.
Thank you, man.
Awesome, man.
Have a good one.
So you know what I love about that call?
What?
That reminds me of me when I discover a podcast that I really like. And that, I think, is like the beauty of the podcast, right? Like you find a podcast you like and it's an episode, 90 whatever, and then you just binge on it because you like it so much.
That's what, man, I did that with The Instance when I first found it. Granted, I think they only had like 14 episodes at the time.
Yeah, sure. But I mean, I've done this with, so many shows over years of listening to podcasts. And to have somebody do it over a show that I'm a part of is pretty cool. So
apparently
that made me happy.
Apparently Jocelyn just lost the internet. She's trying to reconnect. So
she disappeared. Yep.
Yeah. I got my drink. Thank you, Katie. She's already gone, but yeah. Thank you for this. This is delicious.
Fiancés for the win.
I have my adult beverage. So we're gonna add another caller to the call.
Yeah. Hello,
Barry Von Awesome.
Oh my. I'm there. I'm here. Hold on. I got to turn my air conditioner off. It's too hot.
Don't get too uncomfortable.
I love your professionalism, man. That's great.
Well, it's too hot to have it off while I'm waiting in case you call. Sure. But I have a remote, so I just hit the button.
Well, Barry Von Awesome is someone that frequents my stream. I know every now and then, so it's good to actually get a chance to see you, man. Say hi.
Yeah, here, I got to turn my camera on, too.
Oh, I see you.
There it is.
You are putting
Batman hat.
You are putting Dill's and my beards to shame, sir. That is a epic beard.
That's the only reason I grew it. That's true.
Yeah. It's all competition. This is a competitive beard right here.
It's a beard off. And then somewhere in here, Justin Robert Young's going to pop in and just be like, you all lose!
Destroy us all. Yeah. So I saw pictures of him on his fridge without a beard, and I couldn't remember that's what he looked like before he had
yeah. It's like when he came to visit us and we all went to go see NXT together. He had trimmed it, and last I remembered, he looked like Saddam Hussein coming out of the hole. So,
wow.
So that was I was like, oh my God, Justin, you look like a functioning member of society. This is different. If he's hearing this, I love you, Justin.
he doesn't mind.
No.
Welcome to the show, Barry. You got a question for us?
No, I mostly just came to say happy podiversary and to plug the A-Move TV chat in Diablo 3. Not enough people are using it.
Yeah, we have a clan in there, man. It's amazing.
That's right. I have seen some people on with the A-Move tag. I didn't realize there was actually a clan and everything. Yeah, there's a channel as well.
Yeah,
for us non-clan members.
I didn't know there was a channel. There's a channel. I'm just now learning this. I use the clan.
There are 3 people in chat right now, and you have to remember to turn the chat on, otherwise you won't see what other people are saying. But yeah, there's a lot of members in the chat channel here. Let's see if it'll pop up.
Well, I'm going to join this because
that's awesome.
There's 30.
I just hit 70 on my seasonal, so I'm going to be in there doing some grinding.
There's only 36 people in this chat channel, so we need more people to come and join it. And don't be afraid to, speak up and say, hey, I'm running this, that, or the other thing. Because
I am having a real problem with Blizzard games right now, and that problem is that all of them are really fun at the moment.
How do I spend my time?
Heroes is a blast. I'm loving Infernal Shrines. Diablo Season 4 is amazing. I can't believe how much crap we just got in this patch. There's so much stuff I want to do in there. And then Hearthstone just had its expansion. And then also today I can finally fly in World of Warcraft if I finally go finish my meta achievement.
Well, if you go do all that stuff, yeah. But which is a lot of stuff. I'll say this. World of Warcraft is the game that's suffering as a result of all these other games, which is because it had the most room to suffer previously, but
is it connected though? I mean, it's not like Team 5 also makes World of Warcraft, so they're too busy making Hearthstone cards to crank out the next expansion.
But out of X amount of time to play video games as a whole, that's the game that's taken the hit.
Oh,
as far as
absolutely.
my play time, right?
Yeah.
Mine as well. I actually unsubscribed to World of Warcraft when Diablo 3 came out, so 2.5 years ago.
Wow.
Damn,
Do
son.
you any plans to ever come back, or you think you're just done? Like, no Legion for you, Barry? Did we lose Barry?
Barry,
I can't hear you guys. I'm getting robot voices.
Oh, no.
Uh-oh. Barry's gone. We lost Barry.
That's strange. I mean, Dills, you're starting to robot a little bit for me, but not super bad.
Yeah? All right. Well, here, I'll rejoin the call in a second.
Okay. Barry, can you hear me? Nope. Hello? This is great. This is good radio.
I'm still here, but I can't hear you.
Oh, well, that doesn't help me. Let me see if I can re-add him real fast. Oh, I'm so glad I'm getting this side ad in Skype right now.
Skype is such a wonderful program.
It's so
Never
good.
has problems.
No, not at all. See if we can get Barry back in here.
One of these days, someone is going to take podcasting seriously and create just an app that is good for podcasting video conferencing. And just has all the features we want, has a nice little graphical UI where we can turn up and down individual people and put compressors on them.
I don't want any of that.
Reduction,
I just want it to work. I just all I need is you to
it'll
sound
work
good,
as well.
me to sound good, and that's it. Barry, are you back in the call?
I am back. Thank you for recalling me.
Delightful. If both of you could turn your videos back on, by the way, if you want.
Aha! There we go. So, yeah, it doesn't have to do all those things. What I'm saying is the person will make the program will do all those things. It'll be fantastic.
Yeah.
But we're not there yet.
That would be so nice. So, Barry, before we lost it, did you have any other do you have any last words?
No. I just hope that my Inspire Mage deck that I made the day the TGT it came out. Still gets me to rank 20 this month because I'm barely going to play any Hearthstone. I'm going to just be focusing on Diablo 3.
I'm sure you'll be fine. You can't lose stars, so it won't be too bad.
Yeah. Well, I haven't logged in September yet, so we'll see.
Just get your rank 20 card back. Call it a day. Go back to grinding rifts, man. No one will hold it against you.
And I've already finished chapter 3 in Diablo 3. So you guys, I got the pet and the hero portrait. So you guys had some catching up to do.
All right. Well, I'm a little bit through chapter 2, but I've still got some work to do.
Before we let you go, how do I join a chat channel in Diablo? Is it the same as Heroes? Is it just type /join space AMOVETV?
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Because we have an AMO chat room in Heroes as well, folks. So you can type /join AMOVETV, and you'll be in there.
One other thing, you're going to Dragon Con, right, Garrett?
I am. This is my first year ever attending.
Oh, well, say hi to Todd Gnomewise. He's going to be there, too.
I'm sharing a hotel room with him.
Oh, so you'll see him.
Yeah.
I more than say hi.
I hear he's going to keep me awake with snoring, apparently.
Well, I was at PAX with him one year, and he fell asleep at the bar, so...
Oh, well, maybe we won't have to worry about that then.
Come on. You can share a room with me, Garrett. You'll be fine with just about anybody, I'm pretty sure.
You're not that bad, dude, honestly. I've got to say, Dills, you snore, but compared to other roommates I've had in the past, you're it's like a nice, you're like a calm, nice noise machine type of snoring.
Yeah. It's not violent snoring.
No, you're not just like...
Yeah,
it's fine.
So Terpster was trying to get me to come to Nertacular and like just have me stay in his room, and he was like, "Yeah, the great thing is we both snore, so I won't even care that you snore. It'll be fine. We won't bother each other at all. It'll be great."
Well, Barry, man, thank you so much for calling. I'm going to bring another caller in here, but you have a good one.
All right, good
later, Barry.
All right, Mr. Mark has been trying to call in since the beginning of the show. Can you hear us, Mark?
Uh-oh.
Mark's fighting a kitchen monster, it sounds like. Oh, hey, Mark.
It's always a surprise when we actually bring them on.
Can you hear us?
What we really need is we need like an intern who's like,
who screens
we're
them?
about to bring you on. And then, you know.
That would be, although I'm not sure how that would actually work. I guess I could type, but.
Well, they would type to the next person they plan to bring in and say, "Be ready, we're about to bring you in," and then you bring them in.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Mark.
I used to actually do this for when I was an intern at a radio station, where I would just answer the phone and be like, KNBR, and then, what's your question about? And if they had like a stupid question, I'd be like, "Okay, you're 35 minutes away from being on," and they would always hang up. And then if they had a good question, I'd be like, "All right, you're in 5 minutes," and then you just come in. Are you ready? And then patch them in.
Oh, that's so good. Anyways, Kenneth, welcome to the call. That's a dashing headset you have on.
Thank you.
What's up, Kenneth?
Not much.
That's my grandfather's name, dude. Nice, strong name, Kenneth.
Thank you. I go by Kenny, but
all right,
I usually
cool.
write my name as Kenneth.
Well, he goes by Grandpa, so whatever.
I love the idea that your grandfather goes by Grandpa, no matter who he's talking to, like his friends.
And always has, even before he was actually a grandfather.
Distant non-relatives. It's great, man.
Any different. All right, now that I've made it awkward, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. So I actually really wanted to see what you guys thought about something I've never heard it talked about too much.
Okay.
Basically, I don't get a chance to really talk about this with my co-hosts just because they never played WoW. They're young'uns. So what have you thought about Hearthstone actually introducing certain class, like how in WoW there's talent trees?
Yeah.
So if you had like a disc priest, like how would you think they would implement a different type of tree for something? Like if you think about affliction warlocks, where they go off draining life off something, or
damage over time and stuff like that.
Or even a fury warrior, you have 2 weapons. That'd be
so cool.
We have talked about this kind of, but not in this exact framework.
I feel like in the early days of the show, we talked a lot about the possibilities of customizing the hero power of your hero, and that's one avenue you could go.
We brought that up.
And Priest actually already has this. You can go Shadow Form, which permanently changes your hero power for the rest of the game.
Yeah.
And you can steal other people's hero powers now, but that doesn't really go in line with what you're talking about. I was actually thinking about this yesterday. It popped into my head during the show, and I didn't bring it up because we had enough stuff to talk about, and it was just a good time. But I'd love Druid to get its a theme around forms. I'd love to play a bear druid, or a cat druid, or a resto druid, or the thing that I think is grossly missing from the game is Moonkin. They're one of the most absurd, weird, and unique things that exist in the the mythos of Warcraft. I would love to see Moonkin somehow represented in.
Well, you got all their. You got all their spells, and this is I think how Hearthstone is kind of trying to implement this without actually doing it. Is Taunt Warrior is kind of like a tanky warrior, right? That's a protection warrior essentially, and then you've got a paladin that's healing a lot. So you can kind of do it if you just try to theme your deck around it. But I think what you're talking about is a way to actually, say, before I build my deck, I'm choosing this tree, and now I'm off and running on that path, right? And I do think that there's a way to do that, which could be pretty cool, where you can choose one of 3 hero powers, and then only certain cards are available to you if you choose that path, and then cards that are super powerful for that one particular path are available to you that are like brand new crazy cards. And there's a way to do this, but I don't think it's ever going to happen this way because the balancing issues are just going to be insane.
I think probably we might maybe see where they are experimenting with hero powers right now. We might see something where you can choose what specialization you want, but I think that's only going to go as far as hero powers. I don't really see Hearthstone ever implementing something that complex or something that kind of locks down cards for you until we get to the point like maybe where there's just a ridiculous number of cards in the game. But I don't get the feeling that Team 5 really wants to restrict players in any way. They want you to be able to play with and experiment with all the cards available to your class. So, you know, splitting what's available to you into thirds and kind of forcing you into a mold, I don't think is something that Team 5 would do. But I can see getting interesting new and different hero powers because they seem willing to experiment with that. But as far as cards go, I don't think we're going to see that.
But how about this, though? How about if it's not on the ladder that you do this? You do this only in PvE content, and it's like essentially like mini raids, you know, where or if you do this with two player versus boss content, like some of the stuff that they've done with adventures. And so it's like it's kind of restrictive, but not really, because you're like trying out a different comp. Like I'll be a prot warrior and you'll be a disc priest, and let's try to take down Nefarian. And then we could try it with, you know, a survival hunter and a elemental shaman, and like then we could try that comp too. And you could kind of like try different things out, and it doesn't matter if it's balanced or not because you're not hitting
Playing
the ladder up with
people.
it. Yeah, so you can just kind of have it just be a free-for-all fun mode of the game.
You're making me want to go off on a tangent just about how Disc Priest would work in Hearthstone. I'm already just real quick. Real quick, but imagine shield. So we've got Divine Shield. Imagine a shield that only dissipates after it's taken a certain amount of damage, not one tick, but like this shield like only like will eat up 3 damage. This shield will eat up 5, and so on and so forth. That could be an interesting mechanic.
I think they might. I don't think they would really have to. It'd be hard to work around healing too, because it'd be really overpowered to be able to not only put a shield on something, but still be able to heal it too. So I don't know.
But I mean, if you
this is something fun to think about.
It is. It's a cool idea. If you think about like PvE content, you can say like, oh well, do you want to try to outlast this boss, or do you want to try to burn it down really fast? Like I get a tank and a healer, and we just try to live through all the damage, or do we go in there and we just, you know, both play different types of hunter and just burn them down, or rogue hunter, and you can do kind of fun stuff. I think it would be really interesting. I don't think we're anywhere near this, but at some point I feel like Hearthstone's going to have to introduce new ways to play it. Not necessarily just because these old ways are going to be boring or something, but just because after a certain amount of time a game gets a little bit, you know, longer in the tooth and more things have happened, and to keep all the players interested, you have to put in more stuff. So I hope we get some stuff like this at some point. I think it's a fantastic idea to think about.
I think if we're gonna see it, I think we're gonna see it in the form of cards like Shadow Form that manipulate your hero in some way, or have some more of a long-lasting effect on the game as a whole. Because the other thing I think about, you know, we're 2 years into Hearthstone now, plus and counting. So Hearthstone now, you know, yes, it's based off of Warcraft, and we should look to Warcraft for inspiration, but Hearthstone has its own feel now. Like we have our own expectations from Hearthstone itself that are removed from Warcraft, and I think if you're going to do something like that, it still needs to work within the framework of Hearthstone as we know it. So I want to see stuff like that. I would love to see more things like Shadow Form, and I wish something like Shadow Form saw more play.
Was viable.
Because I still think it's one of the coolest and most unique cards in the set, and it's from vanilla. And in vanilla, if you remember, we like I think there were episodes we talked about. We're like, man, this Shadow Priest isn't a thing. There's not enough damage to make it work.
Now there is, honestly.
Actually,
yeah. But cards from vanilla are now essentially back because of cards that have come out. Like, you know, Ben was talking about Repentance. That's the thing now because we're playing these secret paladins. You know.
Yeah.
It's like, I think you're right, Gary, that it's going to take. This is going to happen through cards that change your hero power or do whatever. It's just, are they ever going to be good enough to get played? You know.
I think eventually. I mean, if that becomes a theme, look at TGT. Look at Inspire. I mean, Inspire cards are being played. I mean, yes, everyone's losing their mind about freaking Secret Paladin at the moment. But some Inspire cards are being played, and they're going to be played, and it was a theme around the set. And who knows? That might be a theme. I don't know what the theme would be. I don't know what catchy thing you would call that. But you don't really know. And I think it's a lot more plausible that we're going to get cards that are going to alter our heroes or have a longer lasting impact in the game than it is seeing some type of talent
like
system brought into the
tree.
game.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So, Kenneth, do you have an idea of how this would work? I mean, I bet you thought of this. So
yeah, Garrett did mention that as far as shadow form, that'd be very interesting to see Mage have the different, like the Frost, Arcane, and Fire, to have something that would switch them to whatever it would be for Mage. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's just something.
Yeah, imagine
that I was
Arcane Blast that got more powerful as you used it or something,
if you were
right?
An Arcane spec,
Yeah. Like, because that's essentially what Arcane Mage is, right? Like, it's just the more you spam this ability, it gets to a certain point, and then it's like it blows over, and you go back to the weakest version of it.
Yeah, but you could also
definitely do stuff like that.
You could also look to how
like combo in Rogue. Like, there's already kind of a precedent for that kind of a mechanic where play one card, it makes the next card more powerful. So like if all of your arcane spells kind of comboed off each other, that could be interesting.
You'd also look to Hearthstone itself. I mean, look at the arcane spells we have in there. We have Arcane Missile, so it could do, 2 random damage as opposed to targeted.
Well, but how about this? So like Jocelyn just said, if you've played an arcane spell this turn, it does 3 damage anywhere you want. Like your hero power is more powerful based on like if I've already cast the spell this turn.
Yeah.
So like if I've done something, then it's more powerful. If I haven't, then it's like 1 damage ping.
You're also
ping.
You're also just kind of suggested. I'm not even sure if you noticed it. Like tribes within like spell tribes.
Yeah.
Which is something that there isn't. Yes, we have Arcane Missiles. Yes, we have Arcane Explosion, but it's not like it has a moniker. We haven't
called those arcane spells. Yeah,
right. It's not. They don't have an arcane moniker at the bottom. Yeah. And that would be really interesting to see. And it's something
Druids have nature spells, and mages would have fire, and priests would have shadow and holy, and
Shaman have a shaman.
The shaman.
Well,
shaman.
They have the nature too, and then what else?
Elemental stuff.
Elemental stuff, yeah, but I think that's all still nature, isn't it?
Earth, wind, fire, water.
I think they're different shields. That'd be kind of interesting to see the different shields on them too. Like,
yeah,
I don't know. There's all kinds of stuff they can pull from. I think Dills, you're pretty spot on. Where it take a lot of resources.
Yeah.
Now, it would be something that'd be way down the line. So.
It's the balancing nightmare that would happen if this was just something we could throw into ranked play would be really difficult, but I don't think it's impossible. And I think, at a certain point, there's a lot of cards that, and was it Frodan who said this yesterday, where you look at the card and you go like, that's dangerous, like that's too powerful, right? And then it turns out to be okay just because it pushes it, but it always has some sort of a kind of a just a little bit of a backwards momentum swing in some way. And so it's okay. Like Thaurissan is like, sure, it's really powerful, but it's a 5/5 for 6, right? So it has some sort of penalty to play it. If you could introduce stuff like this and it has that proper amount of penalty to go along with it, then you're okay, right? So they're going to have to add more mechanics at one point. I think this would be a cool way to do it, man. I think it's a great idea, Kenneth.
Mm-hmm. And I just wanted to say, congratulations on your 100th episode. I was going to send in a song of the grand tournament. But I was going to make it for you guys. I couldn't figure out how to separate the song and the words.
Almost
like
version.
A karaoke kind of thing.
Yeah. You'd have to. I've done this a few times. I've actually recreated songs and basically use GarageBand or Cubase or some of these weird programs. It's not that easy to do.
No,
not at all.
Super hard.
Yeah. You said co-host earlier. Do you have a show as well?
Yeah, we also have a Hearthstone podcast, but
oh, nice.
We're pretty new. It's called Coin Concede.
Oh,
and,
Coin Concede.
That's a great name for a show.
That is a fantastic name.
I am
my exchange partner from Germany, and we actually still keep in touch. He still plays a lot of Blizzard games and stuff. He came up with the idea.
That's
unfortunately
great.
He had some health issues, so he couldn't end up being a co-host. But I totally give him credit for it.
So coinconcede.com, I see. Is this the best way to find you guys? Awesome.
Yeah, coinconcede.com or at Twitter at coinconcede.
Sweet. We'll go check that out.
Yeah, definitely. That's awesome. I didn't come on here to promote it or anything. I don't get a chance to talk WoW with them on the show.
we do this on all the Patron episodes. Any people who have stuff to promote, it's fair game. Fair game.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
No problem, man. Good luck.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Thanks for calling.
I appreciate it.
Have a good one, Kenny.
All right, see ya.
That was a super cool question, and man, we need to talk about that on TAC Prime.
Yeah,
because that's such a cool idea.
Yeah, it is. My mute button is wigging out on me. Do you guys hear that weird distortion?
We're gonna hear all your burps and all your coughs.
Yeah.
All your farts.
Apparently, yeah, my farts are super loud, man. Got it. That's
that's all you do, Garrett. Just sits there farting.
Yeah.
Actually, the reason I got the mic mute was to stop it.
To enable farting, right?
Yeah.
No, to disable it, so people didn't hear it, man.
But by disabling, you're actually enabling it. Now
your ability to fart.
Yes, you can now do it. No one will ever know.
David, welcome to the show. We're talking about farts, man. Welcome to the Fartcast.
I joined in at the best time ever.
You're damn right you did.
So, I'm cool with that.
What up, man?
How you doing,
Good to see
dude?
you, dude?
I haven't talked to you in a
I
while.
miss you guys a lot. I haven't been able to make it because of real life stuff. So,
Boo, real life.
Yeah.
Oh man, real life is
At 8
real life is
o'clock, so I
crazy.
rushed over here and I just made it. It seems.
Sweet.
Sweet,
I've been
man.
seeing you on a little more than usual though on the Hearthstones. But previously you've been playing a lot of Heroes, but
Yes, that's true.
TGT has renewed your vigor, huh?
Yeah. It has. It's I think not the most powerful set, but I think it is the most fun set.
I agree with that. Yeah.
I like it a lot, man. I think people were a little quick to judge it as far as on power. Some of the cards. For God's sake, we all looked at a serious challenger. We're like, nah, not gonna be that good.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of cards in this set that I think complement. You're not making decks full of TGT cards, right? But they complement other stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
So you add one or two, and it makes a deck better.
Right. Well, I think Ben had a really good point last night, saying, "Well, we have to make the cards a little more powerful, right? Otherwise, you're never going to put them into the old deck, right? You got all these cards, but you only have 30 slots, so you really have to weigh each card individually, and I think that's a hard thing to do." So.
Yeah, but then you can't make 130 cards that are just all better than the previous cards.
It's true.
So,
It's true.
You know what I mean?
You got to do it
just
just a little bit more each time. Right?
Right.
Yeah.
And
You got to make them a decision too. Is this worth a slot? I'm not sure. Let's try it with this. And oh my God, it enables this old card that I thought was terrible before. I think they did a really good job with that for sure.
And I think that's why I think
And there's
years down the line, if we ever get to Magic status where we need to rotate cards out, I think that will make the game super fresh. I mean, think about it. In 2 years, we have all these expansions. We're gonna have, our mage is still gonna have 4-mana Fireball. It's like in every deck, it's that kind of change. So it gets.
What's the card? Lightning Strike or whatever, the 1-mana 3 damage card in Magic. Lightning Bolt.
Lightning Bolt.
Yeah, Lightning Bolt. So ridiculous, right? Now there's a 2-mana Lightning Strike. It does exactly the same thing. But they were like, yeah, this card is stupid. This is way too good.
Yeah, that's the last time I played Magic was when Lightning Bolt was legal. So a long time ago.
And that card is just stupid powerful. So it still exists in the crazy vintage formats and stuff. But yeah, no, I think there will be a point where they're like, we just kind of retune everything for where we're at now in the existing.
What do you guys think about the comment? Again, I'm still kind of, I've got my jimmies rustled by some of the Reddit comments today. The people who see that and they're like, it's because of money. They want us to buy new cards. And I just lost my headphones.
What was that sound?
That was the sound of an angry Redditor, Jocelyn.
I just remembered something. My son did a Murloc sound today for the first time.
I'm so glad
I caught it. My wife and I caught it on video. Let's see. Hang on.
Oh man, so glad you don't miss those moments.
Yeah.
When your son makes his
No.
first Murloc sound.
Okay, I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna play it.
Okay,
I'm gonna see if I can make this work. Hang on.
Okay.
All right.
Oh, you're not gonna be able to hear it. Duh. How you gonna hear it? That ain't gonna work.
You gotta hold it up to your mouth.
I kind of heard wherever your microphone is. That's what you need to help.
Oh, hang on. Okay, that's us.
Oh, that's adorable. Oh my god.
Oh, he's so much fun. He watches me play Hearthstone on the iPad, and I can't wait for him to. I mean, he's years away, but you know, it's exciting watching a little mind watch all those colors, and he watches me drop the cards, and he just goes, oh, it's the best. It really is.
Yeah, that's amazing.
I feel like Garrett's version was more like a Gungan type, like the Gungan King or whatever.
I was trying to do Nixon from Futurama.
Yeah, I would do it, but my headset will fall off. The boss Nass, I'll do it, but it's gonna get a little crazy.
But and also, like, when there's a card, you were talking about the Magic card, but we're getting the same thing. You're hearing the same thing about some of the new cards in Hearthstone. I think it's absurd that people are like, it's just because money. I really think it's because, you know, if you're a game designer, just kind of like, what if we put this card that is objectively better than another card at the same mana cost, or less of a mana cost.
But what do those people expect? That, like, Blizzard will never put out new cards, and the new cards will never be good enough to go into any decks.
Well, that's my point.
It's a silly thing to even consider.
Yeah, I mean, it's blatant power creep, but that's not a bad thing.
Well, they're power creeping cards that aren't even in your decks.
Exactly,
right?
yeah. They're not making a 6-mana Dr. Boom. You know, it's like
right. That's actually an amazing point to make. Yeah, it's like, so I don't know, because I mean, I see plenty of you know, kind of shots taken at Hearthstone that have merit, things that, you know, I understand the concern that they're having, but then a lot of the stuff I saw today was ridiculous. Like, I try to understand. I try very hard to understand stuff that I don't necessarily agree with, and some of the stuff today is just like, oh my god, why did Broad say this? Why did he do this? Why didn't they ask this? And it's just, I don't.
No, yesterday was amazing. I'm so glad I made the time to tune in live. Congratulations again, by the way.
Oh,
hope you liked my call.
We got enough. Oh yeah, we got so many calls, man. I hope you felt that we included enough of it in the supercut.
Oh no, it was good. I mean, getting to get down and dirty with Ben Brode was I love
getting
honest.
Dirty with the Brode.
Yeah.
He really goes in depth into the design, and that's a rare thing. Like, he's talking to you like, you know, straight up, well, here's why we make bad cards, and here's why we don't nerf cards, and
right. And I find
discussion.
That's the thing that confuses me so much, because I listen to Ben Brode talk, and I hear a guy that cares deeply about the product, about the game that he is making, and then I see things like people are like, it's all about the money, man. And I'm just like, you are not listening. You're angry about something personal, and you're just going to hear what you're going to hear regardless of the facts before you.
Yeah, it's axe to grind stuff more than actual opinion based on true facts. But
and if anyone has a reason to be mad, it's me. I'm at 70 packs open. I've got one legendary. Okay, it's an amazing game. Move on with your lives.
I'm not going to go into my pack openings because it was sounded a lot lot like Dill's as far as how.
Oh yeah, nice.
I don't want you to boot me from the call.
Nice.
Oh jeez. Yeah, you know.
But so Dave, I want to hear what decks you're playing in TGT right now. I mean, we know about all the current ones, but you've always been a guy who kind of likes to experiment around and mess with some cool stuff. So
the first thing I went to was Shaman.
Okay.
So I did the Totem Shaman deck, and that's probably been the most successful deck I've built so far. And then I had to go a little more mid-rangey, so it was a little more competitive. And that one works fantastic. It's a great deck. And then I did Dragon Priest, Dragon Priest feels great, and you get all these value cards, but I don't know, it's missing something. Like, I do all this work, I'm getting value out of the cards, and then I lose. And I'm like, what the heck happened?
I think what happens with Dragon Priest... Well, yeah, so Jocelyn's playing a lot of it. She probably has a pretty decent deck for it. But what I feel like when I'm doing it is I'm just putting stuff on the board and just hoping that stuff sticks, and if it doesn't, you just lose the game.
Right.
Like,
but I mean,
if they can deal with it, you just lose.
Yeah. I mean, I'm getting 3 minions out. I'm doing like a Holy Nova. They all heal with a Northshire Cleric out. So I'm getting through all my cards. I'm outvaluing the opponent, and then I die. It's really weird. I don't know.
It doesn't have reach, right? That's the problem.
Right.
Like, you can't run all these dragons and then also run like Holy Fire and Mind Blast and stuff and like kill them.
Exactly. Yeah. Okay. You've got a 3/6 taunt in play. Okay, you're surviving. You can't kill the opponent with that.
No,
so
you never kill them.
Right,
your hero power doesn't help you kill them.
You're losing slowly. Is the scenario that
yeah.
you're getting,
Yeah.
and
But there's a perfectly tuned deck, I think, in there that runs the right amount of dragons and the right amount of cards that allow you to actually win the game. And I think right now it's like the same thing that happened, I think, with like dragon decks before this set, where people just were like trying to make dragons work and not trying to like pepper in the right amount of dragons. And Joss, I'd love to see your actual deck list, because you say you've been having a really nice win rate with it.
Not with the Dragon Priest. I'm playing something that's much more like heal oriented, I guess. Like
okay.
I'm not.
I know you're playing not Aviana, Paletris too, right?
Yeah. Who is amazing. I've got like Sarad and Paletris, and
I've gotten
the
Pagel,
Holy Champions and
all the bad legendaries.
Oh really? Because I mean, like I've had Paletris summon Paletris. I've gotten Rag. I've gotten Chromagus. Like
I mean, to be honest though, if Paletris summons Pagel, you paid 2 mana for Pagel. You just paid 7 mana for a crappy Yeti, you know?
But she never survives. She never lasts more than a turn.
No,
most of the time. But yeah, and then the other deck I played last night was Secret Paladin, just because I watched the show. It ended, and I said I got to try the Secret Paladin deck out. Oh my god,
it's ridiculous.
Sorry, that stuff is broken. I've played 5 games with it. I think I worked today, and I didn't lose a single one. Not even close. The game would end, and I'd be at 20.
Your win rate will there's definitely variance because when I play, I think I won the first 8 games straight. But my record with it now, at least according to my Hearth Arena stuff or Hearthstone deck tracker, is I'm a 71% with it. So it's not. I mean, that's not a broken deck. That's a good right. That's a good deck that's going well for you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I know. I wish I could track my stats better, but I would say 80% of my games are on my phone, so it's not happening there.
I'm 6-0 at the moment. I've only played 6 games. I've won them all.
Just quit right there, and you are 100%. You're good to go.
Yep, you're done. Garrett to 6-0.
I'm already there. It doesn't need to be a hashtag.
So what about has anybody got some ideas for stuff that we haven't heard about? Because today, after our Nubarak discussion last night, I was like, it sucks that that's the only golden one I got, and I wish that I could find a deck that would work with that.
I really want us at some point, and I don't know, I'm going to put this out there, and people are going to be like, that sounds fun, you guys should do it ASAP, and I'm about to go to Dragon Con and crap, I'm not going to have time, but at some point, when the 3 of us can find some weird extra time, I would like to get together, and I would like to do a video where we brainstorm a new deck, and I personally would like to do a priest deck and build around Holy Champion, because that card excites the shit out of me. I have not seen a good deck that uses it yet, and I feel like there's something there.
Yeah, that's
sure.
that's kind of that's the one I'm working on now. Yeah.
The problem with building around any single card in Hearthstone is there's only 2 copies in a 30-card deck.
Well, you can't build around a legendary, really. That's the thing. A legendary has to complement kind of what you're already doing, right? So.
Well, no, and I'm not saying that should be the only thing, but I'm just like, there's got to be a non-dragon priest that uses Holy Champion, because Holy Champion can grow in power, so there's got to be a way to get reach there.
You got Lighter Than Naru that gives you Light Wardens and stuff. You got all sorts of ways you can make that deck just so scary.
So it would be like mid-range priest.
I've had so many people kill my zombie chows, and then it heals them, and then I'm just like, haha, you just buffed both my holy champions.
Sure.
Smack.
The thing, too, is that think about when you play against a paladin, with True Silver Champion, or if you play against zombie chow, like Jocelyn said, it's a character healed with that card.
Yeah,
not
it's anything, and you don't have to do the healing.
Strong.
Yeah.
So essentially, you've turned your holy fires into 7 damage spells, because it does the 5 damage, heals you. Now your Holy Champion does 2 more damage than it did before. There's all sorts of cool stuff. There's a lot of synergies in there.
Plus, it screws with any deck that's running Healbot, which is a super cool interaction.
Yeah, you're like, oh, Healbot, good, thanks, buddy.
Exactly. You take that, and now make my minions grow.
No, I think there's something there. The deck that I'm trying to kind of theorycraft right now is a Dragon Rogue. Because I think there's something really interesting about the fact that Malagos is already pretty good with a lot of spells. And if I can also Alexstrasza somebody down, and I can enable Blackwing Corruptors and stuff like that, and I can have some really strong drops along the way.
Too bad
kind of
build
tempo. Yeah, well, exactly. That's the problem, is that a nuke doesn't fit in the deck.
Yeah.
That's what but Azure Drake is already really good in Rogue. So you've already got like a bunch of dragons that are already really good in Rogue. So now, if I can get, Thorison and I can knock a couple of these spells down, then I can enable my Blackwing Corruptors, and then I can get Malygos down and eviscerate your face for 9. I could probably win the game.
That
so the
sounds
spin on it is just getting spell power down and eviscerate or
well, it's all the
strike
rogue removal, but the fact is you can make use of cards like Malygos already because of all the awesome spells, and you can also make use of cards like Alexstrasza because you knock their health down so low, and then you can burst them out, right? So if you can knock their health down really low and get a Thorison on a bunch of cards, and then you can do a massive prep, prep something flurry, like prep oil flurry with Malygos down, that's just a ton of damage, It doesn't seem that hard to actually make it happen. So
that sounds amazing. You need to make that dude, and I want to see the deck list.
All right, well, I'm working
David,
on
man.
it.
You make it and then teach me to rogue.
Well, I've started testing, but I haven't found the right mix yet because there's a lot of stuff that has to be cut to make this work, right? Like I can't run 2 saps, and I can't run like two Fana knives and all that kind of stuff. But I want to, I just can't. So I got to figure out what still fits.
Well, David, man, thank you for calling. We're already over time, and there's one.
I know. I really appreciate you taking the call.
There's
guys.
one guy that's been calling the whole time, so we're gonna go over time even more. I want to get him in here.
I'll see you guys in November.
Take
care.
Oh yeah, man.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, awesome. We're gonna see you there.
Yeah. Yep. We'll see you there.
Have a good one, man.
Bye.
All right, so we're already like almost
Way
15
over
minutes
time.
over, but Mr. Sean, who's called into almost every show, but he's been calling all night. So, oh my God,
What is happening?
what? I'm so glad I took the. Oh, hold on, I'm gonna blow that up.
I'm really glad you guys took the call too.
So
I've been waiting for a
Sean
while.
is the TAC fan. Cyrenix, his battle cry is asks completely irrelevant questions, and he's a 3-2 for 2. So you passed the Hearthstone vanilla test.
Yeah,
and I
it is
like
a totally viable arena card. Right
I
here.
like this battle cry, man.
Yeah,
I like this
and
a lot.
Amazing.
it's relevant today. I have a question prepared for you guys.
Awesome.
But first thing, it's kind of weird having to do everything through this little hole. But
I love that it's like you physically
That's what
made
she
this.
said? Sorry, I
Yeah.
just have to.
Thank you, Dills. Thank
Really?
you. I'm sorry.
I've been binge watching The Office lately, so I just couldn't let that one go. Oh my god.
Oh, that's
I was
so.
like, should I? No, I
So
shouldn't.
great.
And then
Yes,
just
you
took it
should.
and-
You should. That is the. Oh my god.
I don't even know how to react to that. But-
Look,
First of all, like everyone else, congratulations on the 100th episode. I've had a thing of Guinness here prepared for the entire show, so cheers, everyone.
I finished my drink,
Yeah,
but
nice.
cheers.
Sweet.
Well, awesome, man. Did you have a question for us, Sean? Before
Yes,
we...
I have a completely irrelevant question to ask you guys.
Wonderful.
As per the battle cry.
Okay, first of all, I really like irrelevant questions. Go ahead.
Well, good. The first two-parter. First part of it is, what's your current favorite classes? Or just your current favorite class?
Favorite class.
Currently.
Paladin.
Okay.
All right, Paladin. There it is. Oh man, Paladin is really strong right now. But man, I'm always excited when I just get to play Warlock in Arena because I just love playing Warlock. Like not in Constructed, but Warlock in Arena is so fun because the hero power allows me to just not give a crap about things like card draw and all that, and just pick like a zoo deck essentially, and just go to town on people. So it's probably Warlock for me right now.
Okay.
I'm not really sure. It's a really tough question. I'm like I've
This
mentioned a
isn't even
couple
the hard
times.
part of the question.
Oh man, yeah. Like I'm trying so hard. Like I'm really liking Priest right now, but I don't have a crazy super awesome win rate with it. Probably overall favorite, like of all time, is Mage. But
Okay.
yeah, I'll say I think I'll say Mage. I mean, I've had a lot of different styles of deck with Mage that I really liked. I like Freeze Mage. I like, well, back in the day, Mech Mage, Tempo Mage. I mean, Mage has portals. Portals is like my favorite card
true.
in the whole entire game.
Yeah.
So
everybody
yeah,
got faces, and every mage has portals.
Yeah, exactly. So I think, I think I'll go mage.
All right. So remember those classes, and we're going to the second part.
All right.
Now let's take a trip right now. Let's take a trip to Magical Christmas Land, where you get the perfect draws and access to all the cards.
All right.
Here's the scenario. Your opponent is at 25 health. You have 1 health. I keep on smacking my mic like a noob. The board is empty on both sides. Theorycraft an OTK for the class you've chosen.
Oh, I so don't have time to do that.
Yeah.
I was kind of hoping I would get in earlier, but that's what I got.
Well, I mean, with Warlock, it's pretty clear. I think you Arcane Golem, double power, overwhelming, faceless, but you have to Thoros on at some point along the way.
Well, we can
to get
have
that going.
that in. We can have that included in there. 1 Thaurissan at least.
One tick of Thaurissan? Okay.
Yeah. And now I wish I'd said Hunter, because I could come up with some like easy way to have gotten like, give the beast charge and then play what's his face who doubles his attack every time you hit it, and then play like Matter Bomber.
Gazrilla?
Yeah, Gazrilla. Yeah. But no, but Warlock is already. This is actually one of the things I was thinking about with my Dragon Rogue, was what my finisher was going to be, and I was going to do like an Arcane Golem, so Arcane Golem faceless combo with the Buffet 2 or combo with 4. You know what I'm talking about? Nobody plays. So it was going to be similar to this Warlock one, but that's been always like the Warlock finisher, right?
Yeah.
The Arcane Golem thing.
I would
so
have.
That's not that fun.
I'd have to have some bizarre freaking scenario where a large minion with charge survived while it was already Blessing of Kings, so I could Blessing of Kings it again and then faceless manipulate it.
Gary, you could do Blessing of Might and stuff. So
That's a good point. That's a good point.
Yeah. So you can Arcane Golem, double Blessing of Might, faceless for, what is that? 7, 10, that's 20 damage. It's not enough.
No. So you would need.
I know.
You would need. You would need something that was already kinged once, or not king. Yeah, kinged. You would need something that was already kinged once and lived, and has charge, which is just like, why are you running charge in Paladin? Why didn't your opponent kill it?
Magical Christmas Land.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
that's right.
So
We
Leroy
forgot. Yeah, we're in
Jenkins.
Magical Christmas Land.
Leroy Jenkins. He's kings and he survived, and I have a faceless manipulator in hand and another Blessing of Kings for good measure.
Weren't we supposed to have empty boards?
Were we?
Yeah, we can fudge it if we need to.
Well,
Is Garrett big paladin?
Conversation.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know.
That's the thing about Paladin. They don't have like a ton of reach,
No.
They've always been the class that's like, really sticky minions that are strong and hard to kill, but, I need to do 18 damage from an empty board? No, I can't do that.
I have Ashbringer on board, and I somehow Nefarianed and got 2 Rockbiter weapons. I don't know. Even that's not enough. Like, I don't know.
Here you go, Garrett. You get the, oh, no, it wouldn't have charge. Never mind.
Well, you said the previous one did 20, right? The previous combo?
Yeah,
was
the
Arcane
Golem, double Blessing of Might, faceless would do 20.
Well, we could just say that he has Ashbringer from the previous turn.
There you go. So that's 20.
Okay. There you go.
Done.
Yeah. So you just add Ashbringer to that equation.
This is the land where you get perfect draws. So
Yes.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Well,
all right, Joss.
Mage, I mean, you'd have to have like, double Frostbolt, Ice Lance.
Yeah, you got all kinds of Ice Lance.
So you're basically just a freeze mage.
Exactly, that's what I'm trying to think. I'm like,
regular,
and then a couple of fireballs.
You play Blood Mage Thalnos, and then you play double Frostbolt,
Oh,
double Ice Lance, and then you play like a bunch of like arcane missiles that hit perfectly, and you.
Well, empty board,
all
right?
This
So they
been,
would hit face. They would
exactly.
hit face.
And all of these have been discounted by Thaurissan, so
yes,
that's 2 mana to play. Well, 1 mana to play the Blood Mage.
Yeah.
And 2 mana for first Frostbolt, 3 for the next one, then 0, 0, 0, 0, then 3 Fireball. Yeah, no, that's easy.
Yeah. There we go. Yeah.
But there was also the one where the guy somehow managed to get 4 Sorcerer's Apprentice with what's their legendary?
There's an infinite damage. Yeah. So you play Archmage Antonidas and you play. So I actually built this deck, and it's really bad, but there's an infinite damage combo in it. So you essentially you duplicate your Thaurissan, and then you get a bunch of stuff lowered in price, and then you need to get four sorcerers on the board.
Sorcerer's Apprentice, yeah.
Yeah, Sorcerer's Apprentice on the board, which makes your fireballs free, which means that when you play Archmage Antonidas, your first fireball is free, and then every fireball after that is also free. So then you just keep on chucking fireballs at the face. So yeah. Mage is, I think, the only class in Hearthstone with an actual infinite damage combo.
It's just insane and incredibly unlikely that you'll accomplish it.
Yeah. I played the deck like 30 games and I didn't get it one time. And I was like, someday I'll get it. And I didn't get it.
And it'll be epic, and I'll send the video to Trollden.
I did win some games with it.
Actually,
it was
wonderful.
Actual combo.
It was one of the Trollden videos that made me think of this question. Was one of them had, it was turn 10, he had played Aviana, Malagos, Innervate, Faceless Manipulator, the Malagos twice, and then played two Moonfires
for 20
damage.
something damage each.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Jeez.
So he had 3 Malagoses on board, and then the Moonfires were free. So yeah.
Yeah.
So Moonfire doing 1 plus 15. It was 16 damage for each Moonfire.
Sean, thank you so much for this incredibly head-scratching question. So,
damn, we had to think a lot for this last
question.
Yeah.
That's my job.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Sean. This is really fun. Thank you for making that card.
Hopefully I'll get it on next month and I'll have a different card. But
there you go. You get a different battle cry.
You should print just a small section that changes what your battle cry is, and you can just paste it on top and keep the same card.
Yeah.
Well,
eventually,
you,
right now I'm still common, so eventually I'll go up to rare and epic and then legendary.
Some epic cards.
Yeah, whatever your question is for legendary, it better, that's a lot of pressure. It has to deliver.
It'll take the whole episode.
The pressure.
That's what we'll do.
Wonderful. Well, thank you, man. Have a good one. Thank you so much for calling in.
You too, guys.
Thanks for calling.
All right, guys. Well, this has been our longest patron call-in yet.
I know.
And I smell dinner. So we're going to end this sucker. That'll do it for this episode. I was going to say this week's episode, but we did 2 this week. Thanks to our patrons over at patreon.com/TAC. Seriously, patrons, thank you so much. It looks like we're on track to do a ton of more extra content, and it's all because of you guys. So thank you so much for supporting the show.
I think we've gone up like 12 or so patrons since yesterday. So
yeah,
good stuff is happening, and that means a lot because it's gonna allow us to do a lot more. And
I mean, we're
all because of you guys.
We don't talk about it that often because I don't know, it feels kind of weird, but I mean, we're kind of we're getting close to the point where this could be our full-time job.
Yeah, you just bring you guys tack all the time, and that ain't bad. That's pretty good.
Very true.
We'll have so much time.
Hachikomo in the chat room. Thank you. Taco announcement.
Go Jocelyn.
Yes.
We need to actually make this announcement.
Yeah, we need to actually do this in a show proper. Exactly. Yeah. So the Angry Chicken Open Fall 2015 is going live for the, $2 an episode patrons today? Garrett?
Yes.
Why are you asking me the thing that you planned?
Well, because you know all the Patreon stuff. I just know the tournament stuff.
I know that it's anybody over $2.
Everyone over $2, yes.
They have first dibs on the signups, yes.
Exactly. So signups, there will be a post going up tonight, so you can just click the link, sign up. We're using challenge, spelt wrong again. The actual what?
Challenge.
Oh, I know. It's a really stupid name, and I don't
think
like
it's Challenge.
It is now. So it's going to be September 26th and 27th. We've moved the finals from Monday back to Sunday because of our West Coast listeners / participants. It is an NA only tournament, so you have to have a North American Hearthstone account. Sorry, EU. I really, really tried. But
we don't actually care where you live. So if you're in the EU with a North American account that's stacked full of cards, come on and join. Actually, if it's not stacked full of cards and you're just really confident that you can win with the pre-made decks, we're not judging.
Exactly. So it's all the same rules as last time. Should be super, super simple. Again, that is going to be the 26th and 27th of September. Finals will be Sunday night, and I believe, unless crazy wedding life stuff happens for Garrett, all 3 of us are going to be able to cast the finals.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited about that. So yeah, go on in, sign up, and have fun.
Yeah. I hope at some point we can do an EU taco, but yeah, there's
it's tough.
fairly free to play decks that you can make on an NA account that will do okay. So yeah.
We should figure out.
It's hard.
I guess we could just make that another goal at some point.
Yeah, like the ability to do 2 tacos every 3 months or something.
The problem is twofold. It's first of all just time zones, because all 3 of us are based in North America, so we would have to start the tournament like way late on EU time just to be able to help out. I mean, like, I was trying to figure out what a good time would be for EU, and I mean, I would be waking up at 6 a.m., which means like that would be 5 a.m. for Garrett, and Dilsey probably wouldn't even have gone to bed yet. So
it'd be fine for Dills. He'd already be awake.
Yeah, that's true.
But I think there's a certain level of Patreon where it's fine, and I'll just bite the bullet and do whatever. You know what I mean? Like, there's a level where I'm like, okay.
Yeah, I'll just do it.
This is my job, then okay.
Then.
It's a graveyard shift for me. I guess.
Fair enough. And then prizing in Europe. We had a really tough time just doing like prize distribution for the NA taco last time. So adding Europe to that is just a whole nother level of complexity. So for now, NA accounts and NA time zones. Sorry.
We'll tackle these problems.
Yes, and we're working on it. I do understand we have EU fans, and I do feel really bad about it. I tried, and that's the reason that this taco has been so long in coming, because the previous one was way back in the spring. So I was trying to figure out EU. Won't work. So NA again. Yay! Taco.
That's where we live. Sorry.
Yeah.
Like, it just boils down to that. So
I know. Yeah.
But we'll figure something out for the future. But thank you guys so much. That's going to do it for this episode of The Angry Chicken for the Patron Hangout for August. Thank you all for tuning in. Episode 101. Oh, my God. I feel like there should be some lame-ass Disney Dalmatians joke in here or something.
By the way, Kripparrian on Monday.
Yes.
Yeah, Kripparrian next Monday. Sadly, no Jocelyn. But, if we have to go sans Jocelyn, I'll take Krip,
Yeah, that's not bad.
Could be worse people filling the massive Canadian shoes.
All I'm saying is he better have a goddamn unicorn on his shirt, or else I'm.
How do I not have that as a clip? Why hasn't anyone sent me I have a unicorn on my shirt? I've got this from Dills.
But you know that the one that lived probably had like a bigger.
Le dick.
Right. I'm really glad that we can get some Terpster on this show.
Yeah.
Any show you can get a little Terpster on is always better.
Absolutely. So thank you, everyone, for listening. Big fat thanks to our patrons for making this episode possible. We will see you this upcoming Monday with Kripparrian for episode 102 of The Angry Chicken. Until then, job's done.
Job's done.
Job's done.
Yes!